my autistic journey has been on hold, mostly, for some weird reason. Because I've been distracted by doing something else, which I should stop, but whatever. Shit. I will not be able to cover anything in here, but I want to start. Crap. A lot of things. Today I resumed watching the autistic videos, and I got some really good ones, like useful for me. And one of them talked about burnout, which has been puzzling me, because I don't get it. Like, I don't get anything, I don't get any terminology. And it's like, you're autistic, people, you're autistic, why don't you give details? Why don't you, like, why aren't you actually describing it? So strange that I have to kind of go digging for it. I mean, it's a format, it's YouTube, like everything is a format, and people are different and things like that, but just like it's a bit tiring that I have to kind of go fishing for the kind of the detailed, like multiple examples, but very specific examples, descriptions that I need to get something. Yeah, so burnout has been one of these things that I'm just like, essentially it's this nebulous concept of we can't get out of bed and we can't work and study, and like, I'm sounding a bit sarcastic, but I mean, I'm not, sucks, but I just cannot relate to that. So it's just not helpful for me, because if I cannot get out of bed, like, no one is, there is no one. I cannot say that I cannot get out of bed for longer than about 12 days, because then I will just die. Maybe even earlier, because I forgot about the thirst. And yeah, like, yeah, I cannot work. There are no, like, where I live, where I used to live, there are no supports. Like, there is no financial support from anything. So like, you're done. That there is no kind of like any kind of system that can protect you and support you, especially if you're like, maybe like you can get something, but if you're not doing anything, then yeah. So it's just like, I definitely have been listening to the information coming from the people with just different life circumstances than mine. People who like have contact with their families, and their families can do something for them, and do something for them, as in like they have a place to live, they have some financial support, they have just like a person who's gonna check on you and just gonna like give you stuff if you're just completely incapacitated. I have never had that in my entire life. So at any point in my life, if I, yeah, like, unless it was like when I was a really young child, then, because, you know, that's illegal. But yeah, after I became a teenager, it's just, yeah, no one is gonna do anything. So I cannot relate to it in any shape or form. This is just not a thing. So for me, it looked like this kind of, like literature, film kind of thing, like 19th century, like salts, like what are they, sniffing salts or something, smelling salts. It was just like, okay, so apparently it's something people get, something as like that kind of burnout that people would describe, but it's like, yeah, okay, like people also get, I don't know, mental health like disorders that are like very disordered or like terrible diseases, and I just I haven't had that. If I had had that, I wouldn't be here now, because I would have been like shot or something. But apparently I haven't had that, because like I didn't like, so it's very kind of like fantasy thing that I just kept in mind that, okay, so there is this experience that is common among autistic people, so let me just have it in my mind. But I couldn't relate it to any of my experiences. And then on the other hand, I have my own experience, and it's very peculiar. Kind of like a whole assortment of symptoms and just so much shit that is very mysterious, very torturous, and very mysterious at the same time. So I need to think about it, and what can it be? Like, is it related to autism? Should be related to autism, because like everything in here is related to autism. So I'm like, where could I apply it? And then like the only big, like the very big thing that could like last for a long time is the burnout in the discourse. And I'm like, but you're supposed, like, this is supposed to be this film kind of experience, and I'm having this, and this is the apples and oranges. But then, yeah, today I watched a video where a woman was describing her burnout for about like 40 minutes. Good length. Talk more so that I can understand. And first, like, it was pretty much in the same venue. Again, very different life circumstances, as in like there are some people around that person that are gonna like actually do something. If something happens. So first it was also about there is the trifecta of, yeah, like, can get out of bed, cannot work, cannot study, and like cannot take care of myself, so like hygiene, cooking, eating, these sort of like clothes or something, messy house. This one I cannot even relate to, like, without the burnout, because of just my general outlook. Maybe I have been in burnout my whole fucking life, but no, like, I just, yeah, okay, it's messy, whatever. Yeah, I'm dirty, whatever. It just doesn't kind of connect there. So first it was that, and I was like, yeah, okay, let me still listen, because like this is an experience in the community. I need to, like, I want to understand what it's like for people. But then she started describing what's happening inside the bucket, like the cognitive processes. And once she started talking about that, I was like, oh, crap. So this thing that I've been keeping in my pocket is a burnout, yeah. She described inability to make decisions, and in her life it was related to cooking, and like going to the supermarket because you need to make choices there, and like when cooking you need to what can I eat, and like, how do I combine, and then like cooking for other people, so how can I combine that, like different steps in different directions, and everywhere is a small decision, small choice, and she couldn't do that. And the other one was not being able to respond to texts if there is no like a clear question. I don't know, like, are you coming tomorrow? Then yeah, it could be like yes or no, maybe. And this is speculation. But if it's just no direct question that can be answered, then she just couldn't, and she would just give some kind of very void answers. And yeah, answering questions she mentioned too, just in conversation with her husband. I left a comment, so this is all about me now. I was like, oh, okay, this one I know. We have met. So yeah, the most like the fun the part of this the most fun is like then I kept watching the video, and my bucket was brewing the beer with the stew inside there. Like like this aspect and this aspect, so this is a burnout, like connecting all of the same things, and like I forgot the word, synthesizing everything there. And then like a few other periods popped into my mind. The second one I forgot because it was like not that prominent, and I'm like, now I'm still trying to find it. But then I recalled another very, very torturous and very mysterious period that has been kind of in my life. It has been this kind of like a big story that I tell, and a big event, so like a significant milestone, but like the opposite, a significant rock bottom that I hit. That was, it's not something I have ever heard talked about by anyone else, so it was very unusual. And yeah, that experience happened when I was 9 and 10. And that was very difficult, because like, was that a burnout? And now that I think about it, feels it might have been. And this is insane. I will have to think about it, because when you're 9 or 10, the brain is just a completely different animal. And a person is a completely different person. It's a child, so the faculties are not exactly, they're not the same, they're not the same, period. They're still in the process of development. So I don't think I can match my like adult burnout with that, or anyone else's adult burnout with that, because this is a child. And the earliest I've seen people starting talking about burnout in their lives is like high school, late teenage years, like 17, 18. Usually, oftentimes it's around university. That's when people start talking about it. But again, I don't have this life path. I have that. It's completely ridiculous. We'll have to do some mental digging about that. But my adult, what is it? Breakout, burnout, breakout. My adult burnout is. I also want to talk about meltdowns, and I have the same thought ringing in my brain that the amount of things. It was the same with the woman in the video, and there was another guy talked about his meltdown that I also severely related to. Just the amount of things that we're actually able to tolerate is insane. It's like 14 different things happening to you within like a very, very intense things happening to you within like a very short period of time, which are kind of like, obviously some much worse things can happen, like, I don't know, wars exist in this on this planet, and like natural disasters and things like that, and you can go to prison, you can get shot. But you know, like kind of normal life without the concentration camps. So it's not something that people generally consider a tragedy, just like day-to-day things. On that field, so kind of the amount of things, the number of things that can go wrong, like very wrong, and do go wrong, and they contribute to the burnout, just the sheer number was insane to me. And like the meltdown, the same. So it wasn't that you're like, the people are so fragile, like we're a resilient bunch. That is at least my like impression now, because the discourses that were like very sensitive and everything, and very fragile, but then when you kind of drill into the experiences, it's insane that this individual had been able to function up until the point when the meltdown or like a shutdown or the burnout hit them. So my experience, my mysterious experience, I connected it to my job that I was doing, because there was a very clear path. But today, the woman, her burnout was not at all connected to the things that they're not remotely similar to my job. So they didn't have this aspect, but the symptoms were still the same, the cognitive symptoms. So that's what kind of gave me the hint there. I'm very tired, I need to go to bed, but I want to say this. So my conceptualization of this disaster that happened was that I had a job. It was an IT-related job, and the job essentially was making hundreds and even thousands of decisions, of choices, all day long, very fast. So like 10, 20 seconds for decision, and then you switch to the next and the next and the next and so on. And the decisions had to be made according to like a big manual, like a very long, detailed, convoluted, complicated, like all the level, consider everything kind of manual. And by that point I had been doing that for about, how long? 5, 6 years. I was delightful. It was so good. I mean, I could do it sitting at home, so nice. Sitting on my butt at home. But even just the process, this kind of information and consideration, that was just fucking heroin for my brain until it wasn't. Because the company decided to change the system entirely, and they destroyed the manual. So now there is no book that you can refer to which says that which decision is correct in which kind of situation and what you can also consider. No, now you have to kind of like, you just have to make the right decisions. Because it's very difficult to explain, but it was like literal torture for me. And not only for me, I mean, these are like torture techniques. They can be used as torture. So you would get punished for making the wrong decision instantly, which was like the pay. But then they would say you can get rewarded, so you can get your pay back if you make the right decision. But we will not fucking tell you what decisions are wrong or right, because that is the wrong system, because God needs to tell you, I guess. There was some other bullshit there. Yeah, nothing is right, but everything is wrong, and also you don't need money. And there was no feedback. So before that change, there was like a massive amount of feedback, and you could actually talk to like your superiors, and you could talk about the system, and they would listen. All gone. So yeah, it was like being stuck in a room with a robot. You cannot get out, and the cannot get out factor is that like, it's my fucking job, I need the money to survive, I need to pay my rent, and I need to feed myself, that's it. So you're stuck in a room with a robot, you cannot leave, and the robot tells you like, choose the correct thing. If you don't choose the correct thing, I will like administer an electric shock. But don't you worry, you can keep choosing, and if you choose the right thing, I will give you a candy. You can suck on my candy dick. And it would not answer any questions, it was just a big blank face. So that went on for about 3 months. I was trying to... I mean, you designed the system, so presumably it's supposed to work. But it wasn't working, so I was sitting at my computer and I was just completely paralyzed. Because, I mean, do I need to explain? It's torture. It's psychological torture. Yeah, I just fucking went into probably meltdowns. I was like crying and losing my shit there. And then I quit because I just said, yeah, like I cannot do this anymore. And like, there is no point in doing anymore because it's not a living wage anymore. It's just, this month you're gonna get $10, but don't you worry, next month, if you keep doing the right decisions, you cannot live on $10. So after that, there were so many things with my brain. And the biggest thing was the inability to make decisions. So in my mind, I was like, oh, okay, so like this is kind of like a nervous breakdown because of the job, and it's like completely connected to this. But a shift in perspective. Let me check how much time we have. Let's pause.